Want to see the unit, just go over and ask him. He gave me a great tutorial earlier this week. Really impressive piece of equipment, and allows our officers to stay forward deployed instead of having to come back and write their reports and so forth, in the office, as well as the citation, just being able to print that out instead of handwriting things, which sometimes, not legible, all the things that go with that. Just really streamlined operations.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that the mayor mentioned. We used to have desktops in the patrol bays that everybody had to share, and people, trying to download their case files and all that. Well, now every officer has the capability to put everything on theirs, and then when they get in the patrol bay, they can just dock it into a dock and have their own monitor, so everything's kept on that officer's computer for their cases.
So, like in the past, I know like they would call dispatch and have to run tags and all that. You all will be able now to just do that on site, so it'll decrease some of the 911
Yes,
people's,
Yeah,
what's it called?
this will get, now we still have to confirm
Okay.
if we show that they've got a warrant or they're
Okay.
suspended. Protocol is that we still radio dispatch and have a second confirmation of that.
Gotcha.
But if you run it and that person comes back clear and there's no warrant shown or no flags, then we don't even have to radio it into dispatch. So
Okay.
it alleviates them and opens up the phone lines and, gives more opportunity instead of taking up radio.
Yeah. Well, good job with getting all those
Thank you.
into the hands of the officers.
Yeah, they're neat. The second item I was tasked with was testing out body cameras. We've been testing those for about the last 3-4 months roughly. Different officers have used those cameras, taken them out, tested them, come back and switched off with other officers depending on shift. Feedback is really good. Officers seem to really like them. We did bid out 2 different quotes. One of the quotes, I like, and I believe the administration and everybody else is on board. It's a 5-year contract. It would be for $89,000 for 24 cameras. That also includes all the data storage that's included. 2.5 years into that contract, they will go ahead and ship out new cameras, new batteries, updated software and firmware. That also includes in-house training where they will come to the police department and train every single officer and supervisor on the capabilities and how to download everything and go through policy and procedures on that. They're also Lexington based, so if we do have an issue, they can be here in less than an hour to solve that problem. The other company was good, but this is more of a local company and local reps as opposed to a Pittsburgh or, Connecticut area that you're not gonna get somebody to come.
So would it be mandatory they wear?
It would be mandatory. We would have a kind of a soft phase where, we go through everything, everybody would be trained on policy and procedure. And then from there, after the grace period ended, it's pretty much follows policy, mandatory. We've reviewed several different policies. We have 2 that we've narrowed it down to, that we would ask Ms. Williams to look over and review before we go ahead and issue it out. But it would pretty much be standard, just like all agencies. Any contact, you get your button prior to the traffic stop or the call. Once that scene's cleared, you push it again. At the end of the night, you dock it for 20 seconds and it uploads into the cloud, and that's actually saved under each officer's file so they can drag it and save it for court cases or things like that. So, is there any questions about those?
So quickly, we're finishing up our policies and procedures.
Yes, sir.
And then for council, we were building in money into the budget to pay for these. It's over 5 years. So we're looking at operational, just rough date. Money's built in for July.
It could be July 1st for,
Okay.
Once everything, because what they would do is once everything was approved, they would come down, set everything up for us. We don't have to do any of that. Give a training, we would review policy and procedures and all that. So by the time everybody got issued and locked in, then I would say around the beginning of July, it will be fully functional and operational.
Okay. So I'll just say I've never been for cameras until I sat down with Lieutenant Noel, and he really educated me on how they can be another great tool for us. The reason I was against them is because of the cost, and I've had in my head that they would cost several $100,000 per year with storage space, that we'd have to hire people to manage this program, and as a small agency, you know our challenges with our budget. But things have changed so much over the past few years, and now it's, with the climate we're in, it's a great piece of, it's a great tool for our officers, and it protects our officers. If they're doing everything right, then that needs to be shown. And this can really help with a lot of cases, to be able to present those in court, as well as protect our officers who are doing a super job every single day.
Yes,
So,
I think it would just back up everything that the mayor said. It would, we've already used the trial one on a couple things where somebody said, something different, and you go back and review it, and you're like, no, you stated here, or, just guilty admissions that prosecutors would love, I'm drunk, I can't do your test, and that's all I'm video. Turn it over, it's hard to fight that. Defense hates it, prosecution loves it, things like that.
since you brought that up, just who has access to that data?
So all officers would obviously, they upload their videos, it goes into their file. They can't delete it, they can't edit it, they can't do anything. They can go in and save it and have it clipped to, their case file to give to the prosecution. Supervisors would have the access to review that footage. All cases, if it's not used in an evidentiary case, after 90 days, that would be written over and go. If it needs to be saved, it would be saved. But standard, most departments do a 90-day retention policy, and then if it's not being used for anything, then they kick it out and just free up more space. But supervisors would be the only ones able to redact or do things like that. But each officer would be able to view their video, write their reports off the video, but other than that and managing their case file, nobody else could have access to cutting and deleting things.
All right, good. So we'll once again open up the council. You're welcome to stop by the police department anytime. Once they're up and operational, I encourage you to do so, just so you can better familiarize yourself with those body cameras and how they're going to be used. As well as Chief, I don't know if you mentioned, but we've done a lot of work at the police department, and it's right now looks kind of rough, but they are completely going in and revitalizing and rehabbing that area down there. It looks really, really good, and it's going to be a place that they can really be proud of moving forward. So Lieutenant Noel, thank you so much for the brief, and appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Thank you. Item number 8, we are declaring a surplus unit 214. This is a 2015 Dodge Charger. It is in pretty rough shape, and we don't have any use for it anymore, so we're going to go ahead and rotate that out.
Sell it to the school.
That's an option. We've let the school know that they're welcome to come down and look at it and see if they want to utilize that vehicle. So we're always happy to help the school if we can. Anyway, we'll just need a motion to
I'll make a motion.
go ahead and surplus that. Councilmember Barnes, Councilmember King, any further discussion? Poll the members, please.
Barnes.
Aye.
Hilton. Aye. King. Aye. Ledford.
Aye.
Murphy. Aye. Trimble.
Item number 9 is the approval of the emergency purchase of a Dodge Ram 5500 bucket truck. As you recall, I sent out an email to everyone. Not the way we want to do business, but we did get verbal approval from the majority of council to move forward with this purchase. Nathan did go down and pick that up. We found, interestingly enough, that the vehicle was listed as a 2019 Dodge Ram. It turns out, according to the title, is a 2018 Dodge Ram. So that's what I'm going to ask you to approve tonight in council, is the purchase of the 2018 Dodge Ram bucket truck. And Nathan, did you have anything you wanted to add on that?
I just want, on behalf of myself and the guys, we really appreciate y'all working with us. It'll be a big help. The other one was an 07. It was going to have a lot of work. So thank you all for working with this on.
Okay. Thank you, Nathan.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion, King, second, Trimble. Any further discussion? Poll the members, please.
Barnes.
Aye.
Hilton. Aye. King.
Aye.
Ledford.
Aye.
Murphy. Aye. Trimble.
Item number 10 is the authorization of the city attorney to file liens on all delinquent 2024 property tax bills.
We currently have 159 bills. I apologize, I meant to point that out to you all, and I forgot, but currently at this moment is 159 delinquent tax bills.
What's that percentage? Roughly 96?
We're 93% collected.
93, okay.
Oh, good.
All right.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by King,
Second.
second by Trimble. Any further discussion? Hold the members, please.
Barnes.
Aye.
Hilton. King. Ledford.
Aye.
Murphy. Trimble.
Aye.
Item number 11 is first reading of ordinance 2025. I'm sorry, Councilmember Murphy, this is you.
First reading of ordinance 25-04, an ordinance amending the budget for the city of Mount Sterling for fiscal year July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Barnes. Discussion. You know, with amended ordinances, we're just at the end of the year adjusting as we need to appropriately reflect what we have spent. So Laura has done a great job preparing that for you. If you have any questions, you can bring those forward. If not, we can hold members.
Barnes.
Aye.
Hilton. King.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Ledford.
Aye.
Trimble.
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy, item number 12.
First reading of ordinance 25-05, an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Mount Sterling for fiscal year July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by King. Discussion. I know you've had an opportunity to look those over. Just quickly on page 1, you can see our projected revenues. They're about the same as they were last year, outside of some grants that we're receiving for the different projects. On the second page and moving forward, I just want to note that in this budget, we are including a $2.25 per hour pay raise for our employees. So as we've discussed in the past, we need to make sure that we are remaining competitive with the jurisdictions that are around us. We've worked very hard. You all have been very good over the past few years to approve raises to get us where we need to be, and we're hoping that this will keep us competitive. Also within this, it accounts for a 13% increase in health insurance that we're facing. Fire contract is going to increase by approximately $18,000 this year. We'll have that money built in, plenty of money built in for our projects moving forward. Within the police department, on the next page, this does include not only the, of course, salaries and wages, but paying for our flock camera systems, which have been very beneficial to the city. And Lieutenant Noel, we are currently going to request three more to include the ones we have now, to make sure that pretty much every avenue coming in or out of the city is covered. And then this will also include the money for the body cams that were briefed to you earlier, as well as paying for the onboard computers. We have written the initial check for that. Some of that will bleed over into the next year. Next page with Public Works, they have had their big equipment purchase, as the Director of Treasury has told me, so we do not have any big equipment purchases planned for this year for Public Works, but we are setting aside some money in the event that we have failures in other areas that they could certainly purchase what they need to be able to do their job. Next page, there's really no changes under planning and zoning. Much different from last year. The last pages, you'll see where we have Grant A. There's a whole lot of different entities which receive money from us. Economic Development, Chamber of Commerce, Du Bois Community Center, the Sterling House, Post Clinic. We have money built in for our transportation match, our home meals for Gateway Area Development. We're putting aside money for the facade grant program again, the sidewalk grant program again. We do have some money allotted right now for Parks and Recreation, that's just a holder. We are working with the Montgomery County Fiscal Court to identify what we can both contribute to help them purchase the lights that they need for Easy Walker Park. And then we'll also be considering the request that's been given to us tonight. So between this budget and the next budget, we'll have that finalized. And we also have just other money, enough money set aside for any contingencies that may come up. So it's a good budget. I know you've had an opportunity to look them over. If you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Well, we're gonna entertain the Wi-Fi component, or was that?
Yes, good question, and I didn't mention it, but we have the Wi-Fi for our festivals. We have ordered the equipment. The equipment is inbound, and we have someone that will be installing that equipment soon. We'll test that out over the next few festivals, and then hopefully we'll be ready for court day this year to offer Wi-Fi to those vendors which are in our public areas.
And because I didn't know if that was from last budget or this new budget. I couldn't.
We were gonna put it in this budget. We found money within this
The old one,
existing
okay.
budget to be able to pay for the equipment, so the labor will be paid out of this coming budget.
Awesome.
Yes, good question. Thank you for reminding me. Any other questions? And as always, we'll try to find money to repave as many streets as we can and repair as many sidewalks and storm drains as we can. So, cost on consumers are going up throughout the economy, and those same costs relate to local government. So we're doing the best we can with the limited resources that we have. Any questions? Poll the members, please.
Barnes. Hilton. King. Ledford. Murphy.
Aye.
Trimmer.
There are no items for closed session. I'll just say once again, we did agree on a special called meeting. We'll get information out to everybody just to remind you. I do want to welcome Judge Executive, Judge Haddix. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate your all's cooperation. We appreciate you coming to our meetings. So thank you. Drop by anytime. Anything from council? Okay, don't run off. We're going to get a motion to adjourn. We have to get a picture. So I've got a motion to adjourn. Second, hearing no objections. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We'll get a group photo.